As we near the end of 2021 tonight, NBC6's Dan Jovic gives us a look back at some of the biggest stories we have covered this year.
A little more than 48 hours into the new year, Shreveport experiences its first murder of the year, an ominous start to a year where local gun violence shatters lives and tortures families. 8 people injured during a violent weekend, 3 of them die. Days later in D.C., rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol. 1 rioter is shot dead by a Capitol police officer. 4 others die as a result of the riot, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. Cody Connell of Vivian takes part in the riot. He's arrested on numerous charges, including assaulting a federal officer.
And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Impeachment proceedings against President Trump commence quickly. Louisiana senators are split on the vote. John Kennedy voting to acquit, Bill Cassidy voting with 6 other Republicans to impeach. The president is acquitted. February brings extreme weather to the Arklatex.
We don't get this often. I've never seen this bad.
Roads close, businesses and schools shutter, pipes burst, leaving homes and hospitals without water. The National Guard and private business owners step up to keep the hospitals running.
We're seeing the effects of a 50-year snowstorm and winter storm that's consumed, northwest Louisiana.
In Texas, state health services share that 210 people died due to the historic freeze. Come March, Governor John Bel Edwards advances the state into phase 3 of coronavirus restrictions, reopening bars, expanding restaurant service, and lifting capacity limits for churches during worship service. In April, Shreveport takes center stage nationally on social media for 2 very different reasons. Bayou Classic comes to town, fans turn out in droves, but hours later, chaos at a gas station 1 mile from Independence Stadium. Dozens of shots ring out. In all, 6 people are shot. Videos of the melee are shared hundreds of thousands of times on social media. In early May, Amazon announces it's coming to Shreveport, investing $200 million to build its first robotic fulfillment center in Louisiana. The governor saying 1,000 good-paying full-time jobs will be created with the potential for 1,800 more indirect jobs. A horrific murder shocks both sides of the Red River later that month, as 22-year-old Catherine Parker is allegedly kidnapped from a Bossier Park and killed by her ex-boyfriend Gabriel Combs. Her body dumped in Shreveport's Duck Pond. The loss of another young life in June had the community reeling. Lane Mangum drowns in a boating accident at the Lake Bistineau Bridge. Mangum and a friend fishing when their boat capsized. As July arrived, more violence ensued as a young lady goes missing.
Help, please. I need y'all help.
Shemaiah Little, taken at gunpoint from a local park. Days later, the teen's body recovered blocks away. Nearly 6 months later, her killer still walks the streets as no arrests have been made. Gun violence claims a law enforcement officer later that month during a standoff. Webster Parish Sheriff's Deputy and Doyling Police Officer Billy Collins Jr. is shot. Collins rightfully remembered as a hero as a sea of blue escorts him to his final resting place. In August, COVID rears its ugly head once again as Louisiana is one of the first states swamped by Delta. Masks and social distancing return. By the end of August, another 1,500-plus people die in the state due to Delta. Later in the month, NBC6 breaks the news that Shreveport's police chief is stepping down. City Council had planned a no-confidence vote for Chief Ben Raymond as murders and gun violence soared in the summer months. But Raymond had already submitted his letter of resignation. Interim Chief Wayne Smith takes over. In September, a horrific crime as a mother throws her baby and 5-year-old off the bridge into Cross Lake. Eureka Black is charged with murder and attempted murder. A 3rd child is later found unharmed. Weeks later, an LSU Health Shreveport grad blasts off.
It's been really interesting to see how fluid shifts with this microgravity environment.
Haley Arsenault on board the world's first all-civilian mission into space. In October, more gun violence. First in Texarkana as 10 people are shot, 1 fatally at a Halloween party on Texas Boulevard. More than 200 people attending. Later at Grambling State, 8 people are shot, 1 fatally after a fight breaks out on the campus during homecoming weekend. Come November, more of the same.
First instinct was to just run.
Gunshots ring out at the State Fair of Louisiana. A local teen shot in the stomach as rival teen gangs clash. The 17-year-old who police say pulled the trigger being tried as an adult by the DA's office. Louisiana casinos go live in November with sports betting, a process years in the making after a Supreme Court ruling making it legal to wager on sports outside of Las Vegas. In December, a longtime Shreveport respiratory therapist is released from the hospital following a double lung transplant needed due to COVID complications.
He hopes to see everybody soon.
Byron Bolanos discharged and healthy after being on life support earlier in the year. The following week, voters say no to all but one of Mayor Perkins' bond proposals, agreeing only to fund improvements to the city's police and fire services, $70 million going to renovations of departments, vehicles, and fire trucks. Later in the month, a record no one is proud of. Shreveport experiences its bloodiest year, surpassing the 86 murders happening in 1993.
I constantly go over it in my head and look at the department to see what else we can do to reduce the amount of violence that occurs here in my city.
There's just so many things happened, but that was a great look back by Dan Jovic.